I think we've all been challenged at some time in life to give to the things that we believe in. Now, whether that's supporting your local church or supporting the homeless or supporting someone's right to life or someone's right to choose or supporting those who might be at risk of suicide or helping the homeless. Supporting those things that you truly believe in is a big, big deal. But here's a caveat from a leadership standpoint that often we overlook when it comes to supporting the things you believe in. Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast, 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. A lot of times people think that if I'm going to support this cause or support this idea, that number one, it means I have to do all the work. I have to actually show up at the event. I have to actually participate in everything that's going on. I have to give myself wholeheartedly for the cause that I believe in. And for some people, you see that they want to support stray pets. They want to support spaying and neutering of pets. They want to support pets that are in shelters. They want to support no euthanasia for pets. And they find themselves on these 5 or 6 different fronts of supporting pets, now with 62 cats and 14 dogs, and they're running somewhere every weekend that they're not actually at work in support of the pets. That's great if that's the kind of lifestyle that you want. You see others who are like, I want to be hands off. I'd rather write a check than to go clean up after these dogs or to sit in the kennel with the stray dogs or to be there to plead with a picket line to save the life of the dog. And so there's a contrast between those who say, well, you can either show up and actually do the work or you can write the check. Then I want to maybe offer a third column, and that is sometimes all you need to lend is your voice or your existing talent. What is it that you're capable of doing? And maybe it doesn't look like what they're already doing. It doesn't look like what the volunteers or those who are sacrificing their time and their resources to participate in. It doesn't look like what they're doing already. Instead, it looks like what you already do every day. So an example for me, there are several causes that I support. I support churches that are, especially churches that are trying to grow, and they're trying to develop their leadership team, and they're trying to grow into the capacity of being the size of church that they want to be. I support that. I'm a believer in Christ, and so when they need teaching or when they need leadership development or when they need someone to speak from the platform, I make myself available to do that. Some compensate me, some don't, and I don't care whichever way. If God blesses them to do that and they pay me, great. And if they don't, I'm still all in. I also support certain political platforms, not certain people, but political platforms. And by that I mean those people, whether they're on the D side of the aisle or the R side of the aisle, that are doing the right thing for the right community at the right time when it's essential. I want to be in on that. And sometimes that means that the resources that I have owning a DJ company will provide them a sound system or a camera or a microphone. And sometimes it will mean that I will come and help participate in events, to hand out flags or to hand out merchandise, to be a part of what's actually going on. And again, sometimes they compensate me and sometimes they don't, and I'm okay. I like to be able to lend my resources, my opportunity, my voice, if you will, behind those efforts. Now, here's the challenge that a lot of people have, and that is because I support someone that I disagree with, people get really confused. Especially today, when it's not possible to support one candidate over the other candidate without apparently being a racist, a misogynist, a sexist, and all these other things. And there's really something wrong with that. Because I can support a platform or an idea and maybe not even like that particular candidate. We need to be able to, as leaders, distinguish the things that we're supporting from the people that are involved. Sometimes I support the person even if I don't completely agree. There's a particular guy on Facebook that I stumbled across. I watched him deliver a couple of presentations. I watched him at some debates that he was involved in. And he is a huge supporter of BLM. I am not. I believe in the phrase Black Lives Matter 1,000%. Look at the organizations that I do give my life, my time, and my talent and my resources to. And that's evidenced very strongly. But the organization BLM, I'm not a strong supporter of because of some of the things that they have to say about family and about American ways and things of that nature. So I'm not in for that. Do I believe Black Lives Matter? 100%, thousands of percent. Do I support various campaigns and efforts to make sure that that happens? Absolutely I do. But that particular organization, I don't want to put my name or my voice behind. But the individual that I came across has an organization called No More. Now, his preferred political candidate and mine are not the same. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to support his efforts, because I think he has some logical conclusions, and I think he has a voice that needs to be heard. And I think even some of the ideas, the solutions that he's offering are strong and palatable and powerful, and they need to be considered. I don't agree with 1,000% of what he says, or even 100%, maybe not even 60%. But where we agree, we come together and we fight in unity. And I believe that we live in a nation that was founded on that concept. I don't have to agree with you on everything to lend you my support where we do agree. And so over the last couple of days, you may have noticed that the podcast wasn't live, and it's because, well, I was barely alive. We made a crash run to Omaha, Nebraska to support some things that were going on there. And we drove up, leaving at 10 o'clock at night. We drove a little over 12 hours and got there. We did a round table for suburban women, and I did the live stream of that, and I did the video of that. I met some people there. We had a great time. They've asked us to come back next week and do a concert. And so we're actually taking the rapid deployment vehicle, our drop-down stage system that we use for That Guy Rocks, and we're driving it all the way back to Omaha next week to do a live concert for this particular cause. Again, do I agree with everything they have to say? No. So my challenge to you as leaders is to realize that you may find that with someone you don't agree on every single thing. That doesn't mean that you part ways as not being friends anymore. It doesn't mean you give up on them. And it doesn't mean that you try to silence them in the areas that you disagree. But to find a place to be disagreeable, agreeably, to be kind, to be supportive of the things that you agree on, to come together, to offer your support and your power and your voice on the things that you do agree on. Maybe they persuade you in the end on the things that you don't agree on, and maybe you persuade them. And maybe you just don't bring them up. But on the places that you agree, learn to fight together, to lend your support. It might be a check, it might be your time, it might be the talents and resources that you have in another vein. But if you're a leader, you have an obligation to continue the level of influence that you have, to grow that level of influence. And that might mean compromising, not by giving up your values, not by giving up on your core values or the things you believe, but by finding those people who align with those values, even if you don't align with them 100%, and supporting where you do line up in values. Give, participate, and be a part. As a leader, it's all about influence, nothing more and nothing less. So will you let your influence be silenced because you don't agree 100%, or will you allow your influence to make more powerful the things that you do agree on? I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.